It starts to be spring here in Sweden, in Helsingborg. My city's name is Helsingborg. And so it starts to be spring, but the trees and bushes have not been green yet. It's about 1 month late this spring. So maybe we are going to be in the summer immediately and no spring. And then suddenly, what happened? It's suddenly summer. And where was the spring? So, but I have been okay. And maybe it was some part of it that I was in Israel. So it was not so long winter for me. It was 20 Celsius degrees in Israel when I come there in December, and I was there a whole month in Jerusalem and staying at the hotel. And it is hard for me to travel like that because I don't have any much income, and it was someone that wanted me to travel to Jerusalem, and I should have stopped there to saying to myself that I don't have that money to travel to Jerusalem, especially when I'm disabled, so I need to have a good hotel to sleep in. I can't stay anymore. I'm too old to stay in those room with many people sleeping, and it have changed also that it is hotel, a cheap hotel that bring in both men and women in the same place. That is more common now than when I started to travel. So that is impossible for me to do that. And so it's much money when I'm traveling. But I have, before the corona came, I was on my way to travel, to take a flight to Dublin in Ireland to see what it is, because it's like a call for me that I need to go there to Dublin once in my life, because I was told from heaven that I have been druid priest once, and I have told you already that I have always been a man in those time I have been here on earth, but this last time I am a woman, and I know why God sent me as a woman to earth, because there is no room for a woman. There is no room for a woman to be listened at. She must have a husband with her. She must have a man behind her that back her up. And I don't have that. I have not had that since God come and talked to me the first time. I really talk, because I have done that when I was younger also. and I have talked about that to you. And but since God come and talked to me about my future, and the higher priest was standing in my home and talking about what had happened in my childhood, and since those two have been to me and talk, something happen now. Something enter in. We'll see what will happen. But I will be a little confused in my talking and thinking, because that spirit that come here, I felt it, that it take over more and more. And so I stop to be myself, and then it's a spirit talking. So I was on my way to travel to Dublin, but I'm glad in that way that I didn't took the flight, because I had not known about the spirit world like I know today. It was too early for me to take a flight. But now I don't need to travel to Dublin more than less than a week, if I can do what they want me to do in a few days. But the flight is very cheap for me to travel. I need to take that taxi once again, but tell them to be awake when they come and get me. And so I take a flight from Copenhagen and directly flight to Dublin, and that is not much money. But the whole time is it that the hotel is expensive. I don't mind to be invited of a family to sleep in their home. That doesn't bother me if it's a real family to sleep that have a guest room where I can sleep. That is okay for me. So if you have a home, a decent home, or know someone that have a room for me, then I can travel to Dublin. But I need to, I know it already, because the spirit is start to talking. I feel the energy that he touched me. It's what I see is a woman that touch me from the spirit world, and this spirit want me to be in front of many people, to talk to them what the spirits want to tell you. Why it is like that, I knew it already before I started to recording, because I was thinking that most everyone that is in in English-speaking countries like Canada, United States, they are coming from Ireland. Most of people that live in the United States, Canada, their roots are from Ireland, many generations back, and then you also are a Viking. You are a Viking because it was many Vikings that come to Ireland, and they fight and got their properties in Ireland, Wales, and England, and they also married royals, because those Vikings was, many of them, the leader was from a royal family, so they were accepted to be married to a princess in Ireland, and but they was like moving on to other countries, and it was not many that was wealthy in Ireland in that time, but they make money for themselves, wealth for themselves, more than to help people that was starving in Ireland. And then when they could manage to take a boat over to going to United States, and from United States up to Canada, and then later on, when it started to come airplane, they were traveling to Australia mostly, but they spread all over the world, and that was what the spirit world was saying to me in Jerusalem 2016, that they were connected in one way or another with each other, and all over the world. And so that I didn't know so much. It was not in my mind about this conflict on Ireland, and I don't know it today either, and I can't get information about it, so I can talk about it. I didn't know if it was a war or conflict going on Ireland today also, because for 25 years ago I was in Texas, so I didn't get those news from Europe, and so I didn't know that now is it 25 years since the peace come to be on Ireland. I didn't know that. I'm sorry that I didn't think about it, because I had so much in my life to do things in Texas, and so they never told us in United States that the conflict was over, and now is it United States president is in Ireland, and they say the president had his roots in Ireland, but all those people in not in only in the politics, in they were church leaders also, and they come from Jewish also roots. It's a turnaround. It's going from Israel up to Germany, and then it's coming over from. I have ancestors in Greenland, Antarctic place, and Iceland, and they come down then to England and make them, and they were royals, and they come and married royals in United Kingdom, those kingdom there was, and so it's coming like this turnaround up in the north and going down to Europe. So it's very hard to grip all this move that was done. So and I don't know about the conflict in North Ireland and Ireland, and it is and was those conflicts that I don't care about. Is this about the political things and also the church, and there is conflict and have been conflict all over the world and still are, and I'm wondering how it will be with the United States Biden in Ireland. If it's okay, he will be okay because he's going in Europe and talking, and I will see, because what I was thinking about when I heard that it was 25 years since the peace was in Ireland, and the agreement to have peace in Ireland was 25 years ago, and I understand this about the last time I was talking in the other part of recently. I talk about that I felt like I should turn to a television channel, and that channel is like a documentary, more learning, and I like to watch it, but I forget to turn it on because it's like separated from other television channels. But I felt it that I should look at what's going on there, and that television channel, it was about this saint, the Viking saint, that be saint in Ireland. Like I was reading it like Columbus, but his name was Saint Columb, and he had another name also, but he was from Viking family. But then he was a leader of the Catholic Church like that, and I was watching that program, but it was not about him. It was about they walking. They did a pilgrim's walk, and I wanted to watch it because of to see how it looked like where they were walking. And it was very interesting to see the beautiful landscape. But then inside this walking, they were talking about this saint that come from the Vikings and of course connected to me. It's one of my ancestor branches in my big tree, and most of the royals are from my family. Most of the European royals is connected with me, and I waited for the spirit to talk to me also. It's it's of course they were. What he's saying here is that she is saying this, that it was of course they have to move. Not like the Jewish people that people hunt them and was bad to them, but that was also that he's showing me this. Now is it a spirit that have two genders, and so it's switching between a woman and a man, and saying that to me that the weather make them move very much, and not only political or church, but they were human, and it's hard for them before the electricity, that it was hard for them to hold the heat inside those cold castle there was. So they needed to move when it was winter to other castle or relatives that live in more warm weather landscape in the winter time. And so many was moving in that way, that they marry their daughters, their sons, marry those people that live in another country where it's more warm weather, and so they move in that way. Not only that people hunting them and want to kill them in that way. They had to do it because they have the castle, they have a farm around them, but sometimes it was the vegetables, like this spring, here where I live. If you need to grow something to eat, it's almost impossible here now, because nothing is growing. And I know it will come warm weather, but it will be too short. So we will have problems with that if we could import things like we do today. But in the past they couldn't. So that they had to move, the family had to move. And it was very poor in Ireland for maybe 200 years ago. And they moved to United States because they heard that it was the land of promise, that they should be wealthy. It's like those people that live today in Africa. They think that it's only, they have told me, because I have been with people from Africa, and they think we don't need to do anything. The money is coming only like rain on us. The money, we only lay there on the ground or wherever we want to lay, and they think that the money is like growing on a tree or falling down from the sky. They really believe that. We think that no, it's only fairy tale. The people tell them, no one believe in that, but they believe that. I was shocked those first time I heard this, what they say in poor countries. But they did that for 150 years, 200 years ago here in Sweden also, to travel to United States. And because there were people that could write back to Sweden and tell them how much money they make, how nice house they have, and they of course they didn't talk about how much they have to work to get it. They only tell them that it's going well with me, and sometimes they send a little money to them, and they're waiting for them to come back with lots of money, or they're waiting for a ticket to United States, because they believe that everyone is wealthy in United States. And even today I thought that my husband to be in Texas, he said he had not so much money, and I was thinking, no, he only saying this to me because he don't want to know me to know how much money he have, and that he will show me when I am coming to United States. So I didn't believe, even if he was telling the truth. I didn't want to know it. I thought he only hide and lie for me for some reason to maybe surprise me with those millions of dollars that I thought everyone had. So I was stupid also because I didn't know about the truth, the real United States. And then I come and we had no money. And I told him, my daughter should not go and get food for free in the school so everyone can see that she is poor. I told my husband that she need money every day to pay her food. I was proud, and I didn't know God in that time, so in my not knowing, I was thinking I was proud that my daughter should not get paid for food. So she got food. She got money every day for lunch. So then 2000, I was homeless and had no money at all. Then I have to take away this proud that I had before. It was only to survive. And sometimes I feel guilty because when my daughter come and visit me in 2002, I didn't had any money because I had no work, but I had a home for her and me to stay in. So I didn't care if I lose the home later on, but I wanted her to have a home. I couldn't take her with me to a shelter. That was too embarrassing to let my daughter sleep with these people. That was it was like 25 women at the shelter, and about 3 was nice people. All other was mental sick or thieves, and that was not nice. And I didn't want my daughter to come to that place. So I tried to hold our little house and pay for that rent. And when she come, I didn't have any money to pay the rent. So I asked my daughter, how much money did your father give you? And my daughter's father is millionaire. And she showed me the money she had. And she had the money for me to pay the rent. So I took that from her. That was money that she should have to buy clothes, souvenirs like that in United States. But I say, I need to pay my rent and I don't have any money for the rent. So I took her money. But she didn't say anything because she saw that I was poor. So I pay the rent for in that time when she should visit me. So the last day when she was going with a flight back to Sweden, I got the paper that I was evicted. I didn't have my home anymore. But the home last at least so she could be in our home. That summer she was visit me in United States. So I feel guilty that I took her money that she should have for to enjoy her staying. But she have not say anything about it because she saw what was going on. But she told her father about how she lived in the United States. And he said that if I have knew that, I should never have let her take the flight to United States, he said to me. He was very angry, but it was too late. He could tell me, and today when I am sitting in my home and have everything okay in my life, I was wondering how could I leave her in that home and go away. And I was in a school when she was visit me, and I got some money from the school, but not enough to pay the rent. So we had to, and it was so good that God helped us. So she was with a pastor. It was a pastor that took care of her some days. So they were on an amusement park, and my daughter could go with them from the church and have fun. And my friend that I had for a short time, she was in a Christian camping, and for 1 week, and my daughter could go with her and have fun with the kids. So it was not very much that she was staying by herself, but it happened. And today I should never do that. But I was like in a bubble, like I say before, that I had to do it. I have to go through it, as I did when I took the flight to Jerusalem now in December, my last time, and I was very sick sometimes. Everything could have happened to me on my traveling. At the airport in Tel Aviv, I break. My body was gone. I was on my way to be killed. I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't move my legs. All energy was gone from me. But I had this assistant that helped me to come to the gate for the flight. But the gate changed, and I have to manage it on my own in my very bad condition. But on my way to wait in the gate, I fall to sleep. So the brain could rest for maybe 50 minutes. I don't know how long it was. Maybe 50 minutes, and that was enough for me to could walk to the other gate. So I was helped from heaven. But it was very, very close. But now my mind is set on Dublin to come and see these druid things, and I maybe remember what I was doing in that time when I was a druid on Ireland, and this Viking branches that was there. I maybe find out things that is like laying in secrets that can be open. Like it have been for me sometimes. I have talked about that, how I suddenly got remembering past life, and I have told you about it. But today it was this celebration about Ireland, and that I got that message some 2-3 days before they told me on television that it's 25 years ago since you wrote this peace agreement. So congratulations, Ireland, that you don't have this war going on, the conflict, those old people that have died because of what they believe in. So it's, if you don't have peace in your mind, you are, I can't say loser, but you are lost. You don't have that balance that you need to have to sort up your life and heal you. That's why you need to have peace in everything, and to have your personal spheric around you where no one can touch you in bad ways, to make you get poison in your mind, in your brain, in your mindset, and toxic your body and everything. You need to have a personal spheric. And I ask those that is relatives for you in heaven to help you to understand how to pray for in your life, in your mindset, to be in peace.